So good morning, Diana.
Good morning.
Diana, I'm going to ask you some questions about your involvement in Aspire. So you've been involved as one of the Year 2 local artists in Aspire, and it's all about sharing and working together and mentoring. Is this your current experience of Aspire, and can you cite any examples of how this has made a difference to you?
Yes, it is my experience at Aspire. It's been a very sharing experience of artists of all experience and ages, actually, which I've really enjoyed. We've all worked together producing work for shared shows and also in trying to provide events and activities for the community.
That leads me nicely into my next question, which is that during Aspire, the artists and the apprentices have gone out into deprived communities and gone straight into communities to work, using art as a tool for engagement. So can you say whether you feel that has been a valuable initiative and whether you've enjoyed that experience?
I think it's been valuable for the communities, and I think it's been valuable, I valued it in as much as it wouldn't have been something that I would have done independently. And initially I did wonder how I might fit into that kind of approach, but actually it was quite an amazing experience for me. It was something that we all worked to together, very focused, very energised, and I think that the communities that we delivered these events to possibly sensed that energy and really got involved wholeheartedly, even though it was possibly with suspicion at first. I think they actually did warm to us as a group of people and what we were trying to provide for them.
Can you cite any particular example
of the activities?
Yeah, we did.
We did a square meal, which was at Christmas time 2011, which was quite amazing. It was a drop-in event for residents of a housing association, and we provided them with food, with presents, with activities that children could make, some edibles, and it wasn't just for children, adults were involved as well. The people that we met were just amazing, and it was, I was going to say something, it was a little bit like being a hairdresser, in as much as people really opened up to you, and sort of the things that they told us was amazing, really, and sort of confidences, and just because we happened to be giving to them. And it was quite remarkable.
I think the value for us at the Arts Centre in that initiative is that we're going out to people who probably don't know about us.
Yes.
And now they do.
Yes.
I still meet people in town who are living in some of these communities, and we stop and have a conversation, which we of course never would have done.
No, you would have just passed by.
I think there's something very special about artists that allows them to go out and meet completely new people in quite an unusual environment and make contact and make connections. Maybe it's just a human thing.
And it might have just, particularly with the group of artists that I was working with, we approached this with no preconceptions, which I think is how the people were able to respond to us, because they realised we weren't there to judge. Who are we to judge? We went there to experience, and I think we all did.
Today, talking about sort of sharing experiences, you're sharing some of your own skills, specifically in bookmaking,
yes.
With some of the young artists involved in the project. So can you just tell us what that's about and what you're actually doing today?
Well, the skills share has been a thread that's been running through the whole Aspire project, and the idea being that we literally share our skills where appropriate to further the aims of Aspire. So today I'm specifically working with Georgina and Louise, and we're making some simple book forms, which, as we've been doing, we've been sort of suggesting variations and how they could perhaps use these bindings to collate some of their own work or their ideas, collections, We've already talked about an extensive wrapping paper collection that might be incorporated into some covers, or some samples, some professional samples of silk, printed silk, that could be collated into a sample book form. So today I'm just passing on some of these skills that I've been taught to hopefully further their skill base.
I think that's really, for me, the essence of Aspire, to see young people coming in and acquiring from older artists something really new. I know we've got one graduate and one young person who is still deciding about whether to go on to university, and I think that's important to, to actually give them some skills that could give them a viable piece of employability skills, I suppose, really. And because we're talking here about a strand of merchandising for your exhibition, which I'm going to talk to you about in a minute, Chasing Tales Beneath the Surface. Hopefully we're going to find that some of the skills you're imparting today will turn up on sale to the public as part of merchandise that that sort of underpins Chasing Tales.
It'll be interesting to see how that emerges, actually.
Now, it's a really exciting time for you, I know, at the moment, because you're currently preparing for your first significant solo show. And you've been supported by one of the regional artist mentors from year one of Aspire, so that's Lyndall Phelps, who's ideally matched with you, I think, in terms of both of your approaches to research and rigour and sort of perfectionism. And I just wanted to ask you about how that process is working and what that opportunity has meant to you.
Yeah, the process is working well from my point of view, very well. It's been an amazing opportunity to meet and work with Lyndall. She's an artist that I've admired for some time. We've had some amazing conversations, and she's incredibly supportive, and I think what has impressed me is that she's so readily latched on to where I'm coming from and what I'm trying to achieve, and she makes some very astute sort of observations that kind of just gives me encouragement and links everything that I've been doing together, and sort of I feel energised and off I go again. And so it's been very good. I'm very much enjoying the association.
That's really nice, because I think another strand of Aspire has been the generosity of spirit of people in general who've been involved. I mean, one of the things we did before was Lost and Found with Lyndall's year one of Aspire, and the apprentices were people were bringing things in to us, and that was the members of the public. So I think the whole sort of ethos of sharing basically small things, small bits of information about yourself, you as an artist sharing with them, I think that's been something that's been really important to us all during Aspire, and has meant a lot to the people involved, and hopefully to those people who've received the benefit from it. I mean, I was going to ask you as a sort of final question, is if you hadn't have been involved in Aspire, do you think you'd have been where you are now in your work?
No, I don't think so. Not quite where I am now. I think having the opportunity to just have such a major input with some very influential people, really, regionally and nationally, particularly working with Richard, who just gives you the sense that actually nothing is impossible. And if you want to do it, we can make it happen, and that is empowering. So I think possibly one of the things that I feel that I have gained from Aspire is a sense of being empowered, that I am empowered, and through sharing of some of my skills I can empower. And so I think that I wouldn't be where I am today if it hadn't have been for Aspire. It's given me a real impetus to want to create work, but in not for its own sake, but just with that integrity. I think making work with integrity and a real meaning